research laboratory, top sport in a rural environment. It proves that it can be done. What you see here is there are three important elements. All those empty glass rooms that you see at the back is what we're going to fill in now, and it's called a molecular laboratory. A very expensive hobby, but we have now the finances round, and that means that we can not only detect the virus and measure the virus, but we can also analyze the virus, and that is a major step forward, especially towards that cure research what we're going to do. And I'll speak more about that when we have more time. This room, we're going to go in with all of us. It's the nicest room in summer because the air conditioning is very bad there, so it's cold. But we have a collection there which is unique in sub-Saharan Africa. I don't think there is any NGO who has what we have here, and I'll speak to you about it now. Then the second unit is here, those 5 workbenches. Machinery and technique chronically changes, but adapting your lab is then an expensive hobby. So we have chosen for a very simple system. You see that green thing running through the lab? That's all our electricity, what lays in there, and it goes in cables through those little things into there, and we can shift and add and subtract very easily on our technique. And all the grey boxes on that side is all the IT coming out so that it doesn't interfere. And if you need more plugs on that, it's very easy changing. And those workbenches, those big bio-based cabinets, is so that you can work with blood products very safe for your employees. And they are doing a lot of preparation and testing on site. And we do a lot of storage. And that is, I think, the secret of proper research is how can you store your data. And 80% of our data is in the computer, and the other 20% is here.
Is it okay to film in there?
Sorry?
Is it okay to film?
Yes, of course.
Are you going to make a movie?
Yes. Yes, yes. Oh, it's nice in here.
Okay, what you see here, it all freezes. These are all freezers, and you see that is a -20, these go to -86, and if we really go bankrupt, then this is my insurance, because this one goes to -134, so if research fails, we can always make this a sperma base, and then we can start selling and fertilize women with it. This is a unique one in this part of South Africa. Why -80? Why -134? In the -18, I'll show you, we store plasma. Plasma is blood which you spin down so that all the cells disappear out of it. So if you want to do cell and immunological and virological research, virological you can, immunological you can't. Or that you can do with your serum samples. But if you want to do what is happening inside the cell, you mustn't take the cell out. But you must preserve the cell differently. And cells, to store cells so that you later can research them, you need to freeze them even more. How does it look like? If you all can stand on that side, because I can't open this too long. From every patient, since 2003, when we started on HIV treatment, when we draw blood to monitor how is your HIV doing on the medication, we store blood. So number 1 to 5 are one fridge handles 16,000 blood samples. So we have about 15 years of AIDS treatment, and the patients, most of the patients are still alive. We have their medical dossiers, and we have a library through the years of your blood sample storage. So every scientist goes berserk because there is so much data to do, and how the storage is organized is like this. This is really cool. Oh, this is really cool. Here is 102, 4, 6, 10. And if I take this one out now and I put it back in the wrong place, then I screw up the system. You see it's barcoded and there are all details on it, and we have a program there which says fridge 1, fridge 2, and every place, right corner, third box from right, this and this and this, everything is documented, otherwise it's chaos. But there is around about 150,000 samples stored here, so it's quite a lot. But if I should put it back now here, I've got a problem. I must put it here because otherwise I mess up the storage part. And we didn't even go down 1 centigrade, so we did it fast enough. But why is this important? As I said, if you want to do retrospective research, then you need data. When we started with HIV treatment, we were still having that a patient had 10, 15 pills today, every day. And there were drugs who were suppressing the HIV, but they were also very toxic. So they were damaging in another way. And one of those drugs, and I give it as an example, was D4T. And D4T, if you use it too long, you get what we call a polyneuropathy. And a polyneuropathy is when you sit too long with your legs over each other, you get those tintles in your foot. You all know what I mean with it. But when you release it and you don't push on that nerve again, it disappears. Now, can you imagine that life? And it's ascending, it's coming higher and higher with both legs. Then you have the whole day that sensation of that pins and needles. That's not nice. Then your HIV might be suppressed, but finally you end up in a wheelchair because you can't walk anymore and your feet and your legs are burning and that affects your quality of life. We didn't know that when we started with those drugs that it was coming. But it was a cheap drug and it was an effective drug. And in the starting days it was all about cost. So we could do a retrospective analysis on the patients who we started with it by checking certain things in those plasma. When does this start to develop? So we couldn't stop with that drug because it was one of the few drugs available, but we could say if you take it for the first 18 months, then you won't run the risk on the side effects, but then we must switch you to another drug. And in public health, those 18 months saved a lot of money. If you say $1 per day at the moment, then you think, oh, AIDS is not so bad. It's affordable. But if you see that we have 4 million people, then that's a lot of millions at the end of the month, at the end of the year in your total healthcare budget. So every cent and penny that you can save without compromising the quality is an important one. And research can contribute fantastically to it. So, rural place, top people, top sport, and provide them with the proper tools. That is in fact what it is all about. And I don't think that the peripheral laboratory, I don't think there is another one like this in South Africa. And you must be nuts. You must really be crazy to be this ambitious. But I always dreamt if we do it, we're going to do it properly. And this is part of it. One little story about the technique of the fridges. You see all those scans hanging there, like chips next to everything. So every computer is having a probe in it which measures the temperature. So you read the temperature here, we write it down here, but it's also electronically recorded.
Okay.
And the moment that this goes below 82, then you get an SMS, or the lab get an SMS. And all the people involved in that type of research get an SMS. And then they come to this before the samples are destroyed, because you can't have that it goes below 60. That we can or take the samples out, another one have it repaired, or restore the malfunction or whatever. So it's all electronically controlled, and this is fun. This is just fun. Good. That's a bit about the research part.